As we mark Disability Rights Awareness Month, many children with disabilities face difficulties, including being marginalised, violence, and also not being able to exercise their constitutional rights. Now, in the book, Celebrating Our Differences, Embracing My Superpowers, author Nkateko Emily Mabasa takes us on a journey of 3 children, Jabu, Melody, and Gugu, who live with disabilities, and they embrace those disabilities and turn them into superpowers. Now, it's also an educational awareness book on overcoming challenges. But to tell us more about the book and, of course, her own story, we are joined in studio by Nkateko Emily Mabasa. Thanks so much for coming through and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. Good morning, Sakina.
You know, Nkateko, we were talking off air about Disability Awareness Month.
Yes.
And perhaps let's just share those sentiments about how we seem to treat this month or people who live with disabilities and their rights as an event, because now somewhere in the calendar it says we should pay attention.
Yes, definitely. It's not an event, it's a lifestyle. So this is my everyday. So people should be treating it like it's a lifestyle, and should be wanting to learn about disability all around the year, like 365 days a year, exactly that.
Talk to us about your personal disability, and your own story is a very, very inspirational one, but I want you to tell it in your words.
Okay, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy from a very young age, and I couldn't speak before and I couldn't walk. So it's been such a journey for me to learn those elements which people take so easily and take it for granted, because when I stand up in the chair, it's an achievement for me because I know I couldn't do that before. And it's such a beautiful thing to see myself achieve, because I know that I'm inspiration for the next person living with my type of disability.
So, with your cerebral palsy, you were in a wheelchair up until the age of 12.
Yes.
So talk to us about that time, at least from as long as you became aware of it, and what that felt like to you, and what moved you, what motivated you to one day just say, no, this isn't me. I'm going to get up out of this chair, I'm going to take those crutches, and I'm going to walk.
I'd have to give credit to my family. I have 4 older siblings, so they could all, they don't have disabilities. So I was like asking myself, but why can't I walk? So it was like me wanting to be similar to them, but knowing I had to do it my own way. So that was the inspiration behind it. But as time went, I actually saw that I was doing it for myself. Yes.
And what was that moment like when you first decided to stand up?
It was a very emotional moment, because even the doctors had said to me, even if you're going to learn how to walk, at the age of 18, you're going to go back to being in a wheelchair. So I had that thought at the back of my mind, but I always had to push it, and say, no, this is not going to be my life story, because I'm 33 years old today and I've defined the odds and their prediction about my life.
And we're so glad that you have. And it takes a lot of courage, of course. I think, as you say, this is not an event. This is your everyday, where you have to navigate spaces that other people take for granted. We were talking about how you have had to learn to climb stairs, for example. And talk to us about everyday things around us. There are people who need to take public transport, people with disabilities, who have to navigate so many different public spaces. And very often there isn't sufficient thought given to how you are expected to actually get around in those places.
Okay, given that I'm a positive person, I was like, okay, the world won't adapt to me, let me adapt to the world. Because that's exactly what people with disabilities are currently doing. We are accommodating everybody else, because the world is not accommodating to us. And that's why I had to learn how to use my crutches on stairs so that I can access buildings and make sure that people realize that I'm here and I'm here to stay and I have something to say and it's worth somebody giving me an ear to hear about. Yeah.
I just love your positive spirit, because you were saying to me, but don't worry, because I have other senses that are much more heightened, and you were bragging to me about things that you can do that I can't possibly do.
Yeah.
You were talking, for example, about how you can see much better in the dark. So, how do you motivate yourself to always be positive?
I always have to say my family, because it has to start with them. I didn't know any better when I was younger. So them treating me as they would treat my siblings. My mom and my dad helped me a lot to see, actually, wait a minute, I'm not different. It's only the society that's treating me different, and I need to show them that I'm not different. And actually having a disability has its perks, like I said, seeing better in the dark. So with the load shedding that is happening in the country, I'm just doing fine.
So, hopefully you're around when things happen so we can ask you, like, Nkateko, where's what, where's who? So, no, I absolutely love that. And then, of course, you've taken it a bit further by writing a book. And let's just, talk about that for a moment. Our differences, embracing my superpowers, like seeing better in the dark. So let's talk about these three characters that you have in the book. One who can't see, one who has spina bifida, and one who has cerebral palsy.
Yes. So the characters were inspired by individuals that I do know in my own life, but a little bit about my own struggles growing up as a young child with a disability. You have to have confidence to fit in, or to just make sure that you stand out in this world. So that's one of the things that the characters speak about, is regaining their confidence and obviously setting healthy boundaries. I think even adults struggle with this, and it's more on a serious with kids, because they're trying to make friends. So if they don't set healthy boundaries, they're most likely to put themselves in danger. And with the book, I'm hoping to show them that it's okay to say no. It's okay to be yourself and to say, I don't need to give you my helping device like my glasses or my crutches so that you accept me. You need to understand that I'm human first before I actually have all these gadgets, because they're gadgets.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you wrote this book, because it's also a workbook at the same time.
Yes.
And again, who are you hoping to actually reach through the book? And what are you hoping it would achieve?
I'm hoping to reach every child, because children need to be exposed to people with disabilities first and foremost, because I see this a lot when I'm in the malls. The parents don't want their kids to ask me questions, and I want them to ask. So with this book, it's going to make them more curious, and obviously children that are living with disabilities, that there is hope, and I am that hope that they've actually are wondering about. So it's for everyone, actually. It's not just for the community, because I always say that we don't have to be a community within a community. Can we just be one community?
And I love that, because, in the book, as you say, speaking about setting healthy boundaries, that goes for everyone. And I also love, as you say, that this book is for everybody, because it's to sensitize people about people with disabilities and how they are a part of us, but also for those with disabilities to see that it's okay, and how you can perhaps best navigate the space. So where can people find the book?
So the book is going to be available at selected exclusive books stores, and online at Take-A-Lot, at Micro and other online stores. So that's where they can find it, and they can also just check out the website of my publisher to check it out. So if they check my name, everything is linked there.
I absolutely love this. And is there anything specific that you are engaged with, talks, workshops, anything that you're doing at the moment?
Yes, I do use my story as like motivation. So I do public talks for companies, for individuals, anything like that, just so that I'm I'm visible for somebody who feels invisible. So that's what I do. But I also am a non-profit organization founder where I teach young kids that are not living with disabilities, because I'm also a choreographer. So yeah, I do all of these things.
You teach them to dance.
Yes.
Go girl. All right. And this is what we need, you know. And Nkateko was talking about the Springboks and, you know, just that euphoria that they brought. And she herself brings so much love and joy. Thank you so much for coming through. Nkateko Emily Mabasa, author of Celebrating Our Differences, Embracing My Superpowers.